Well, still in East Africa, Kenya to be specific, the wholesale and retail growth sector essentially grew by 7.7% in the second quarter of 2018. Those are levels of growth last seen 4 years ago, and the sector was still, ironically, in a slump. 2018's first half continues the recovery. For retail sectors, growth rates are in constant decline between 2010 and 2016. But make no mistake, there are challenges ahead. 2 years have passed since Kenyan legislators imposed rate caps that have strangled lending to the private sector. We're in single digits now. But for some large retailers, that's not stopped them from expanding. Earlier on, I spoke to the Chief Operating Officer of Naivas, Willy Kimani. As he pointed out, the retail chain has learned to expand debt-free.
It's all about shareholder investing. So it's all about, and that's why we're actually happy, because most of the time shareholders are actually giving back and just agreeing, for us to actually expand. Right. So management has actually been, we have very good support from the shareholders.
So are these shareholders keen though, on perhaps at some point taking the company public? Or is the whole idea of listing not something they're interested in at all?
Not at the moment.
Not at the moment?
Not at the moment.
And in the future, long term?
It's something to look at, but it has its pros and cons. And at the moment, for our business, it's more on the con side, so we're trying to keep it as it is. This
June 2017 report was pretty controversial when it did come out. So it pointed to this massive mountain of pending bills, about $400 million worth, some of which was overdue by 180 to 240 days. Yeah. Has that situation changed?
One, we disagreed with the report, as we track. It was skewed. It was actually based from a very small angle. Only very few retailers actually ever gave data exactly as to what, and so it was not even. It was
because how many guys who actually participated? It was Nakuma, Tuchumi, and a couple of others.
Yes, well. I'll be honest. 400 million is that's nothing if you actually consider what the whole total market will be having, and they're all having terms. The key issue is, one, since then, Ministry of Trade has actually engaged RETRAC and also particularly also other key stakeholders like Kenya Association of Manufacturers, the Supplier Association, and we all sat down together as 4 parties, and we have now tried to craft up ways and a new way, which is actually going for legislation in next year. And we have agreed at least on a formula whereby we are agreeing that if it's fruits and veg, how long should it be paid? At least within that, within a scope, FMCG products, and then lifestyle items, how at least now we're going to have a guideline. But that does not surpass.
But is that a guideline, or is it going to be like in law that if I give you, for argument's sake, fresh produce, you have to pay me within, say, 10 days? Or if I give you white goods, your washing machines and TVs and so on and so forth, then it can be 180 or 90 days.
This is actually just coming in absence of a formal contract between a supplier and a retailer. So in absence of either a supplier agreement or a joint business planning agreement, then that will actually apply. So in essence, what you're going to see is next stage is going to be a lot of collaboration between suppliers and retailers, because we are now trying to force a discussion. Right. What used to happen is most suppliers will just supply, and especially because of that issue of trying to compete for space, such that I know if I don't supply, X is supplying, and if X is supplying, then I'm losing my market share.
So basically, they actually end up
piling up on your debt. Yes, you had 60 days agreed, but you have not been paid in 60 days, but you still continue supplying because of one, market share and all those things. And then I would not call it a dominant factor, but somehow it's played. Those are some elements of